Hey, I'm Al Corlin. Thanks very much for joining me. I am in Vancouver, British Columbia, chatting with our newest client. Company is called Commander Resources. Commander was referred to us by my good friend Yale Simpson, who also has a couple of companies that sponsor our website. Eric Norton is the president of Commander. He joined the company just last June, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I did.
You're a professional engineer. You've got some pretty high standards, right?
I'm a metallurgical engineer. I worked for Cominco Tech for 32 years.
Wow.
An operations background. I make no pretenses about being a geologist. I'm not. I count on technical staff to keep me square on geology. So I have an operating background.
That's really important, yeah.
And then I got into more of the junior mining end of things.
Why Commander?
I actually had been a shareholder of Commander since about 2003, 2004. I had known the outgoing president, Ken Lay, for a while through Tech Cominco. And as a shareholder, I got comfortable with the projects and the people, and also the governance policies of Commander. The things that I look for in a company like people would be integrity, honesty, open communications, and Commander, I thought, met all of those. And so I have been accumulating Commander in the market on my own and ended up with an opportunity to come in separately.
I have known Commander actually for quite some time now, and Bill Coulter, I think, was Ken's predecessor,
That's
if I'm
right.
not mistaken. Wonderful guy. I've known Bill for, oh gosh, 20 years probably or thereabouts. Give our listeners, if you would, a bit of an overview of the actual assets in the ground that Commander has.
Certainly. Well, so Commander, going back to Bill Coulter, Bill was one of the founders of Major General. In 2002, Major General split into two companies, of Commander Resources and Diamonds North. Commander had the base metals assets and precious metals assets. And that portfolio has been maintained and has grown. So today, we have quite a portfolio of projects and in several different commodities. So on gold, we have our flagship project is Baffin Island in partnership with Anglo Gold Ashanti, who came in 2009.
One of the larger companies in our
industry.
Right?
And a very supportive partner, and we're quite happy to be with them. So that's been our active project for the last few years. Another gold property that is currently being spun out is the Orion Gold Deposit in Newfoundland. One of Major General's assets was the Hammerdown mine, which they sold, but it was eventually put into production and operated. And the Orion deposit is adjacent to the old Hammerdown. It has quite a nice gold resource. Like I said, it's been spun out. It was a little asset in the portfolio that had been not recognized for what it was, and is better off in its separate company, which is now Maritime Resources.
I've got to tell you, I think we're in the absolute perfect storm for precious metals right now. I don't think there's any question about that. There are fundamental reasons, half a dozen at least, that I could just throw out almost instantly that I believe that the metals are going to continue to escalate in price, and I don't think they're going to. In terms of a de-escalation, I don't think that's going to occur for quite some time now. But I have to tell you, I am also very, very interested in base metals because of the huge demand that's coming out of the Far East. Let's talk about that aspect of your business.
Well, we do have others, like I say, in the portfolio. Copper, which I believe very strongly in copper and have some background in copper. We have the Storm deposit in Nunavut. It was founded by Cominco in support of, and they had the old Polaris mine running up on Little Cornwallis Island as it was winding down, exploring for other possibilities to keep the mill operating. And Storm deposit was located, and it's in a nice location relative to what you can get in Nunavut. It's on tidewater, has shipping lanes available, very high grade, 5%. One drill intercept up there was 5% over 50 meters.
Big number.
Big number. Early stages, and Commander has it 100%.
Okay.
And adjacent to that is a zinc prospect, the Seal Zinc, again also on tidewater, early stage exploration, but that's in a very early incubation stage that we would like to continue working with next year.
In terms of the copper property, where exactly do you stand on that one right now? You say it's early stage, but I have a feeling it may be farther along than I'm thinking.
Well, it's a property that's had some drilling done on it by Cominco, I think about 47 holes. Very preliminary. It's quite, they're very wide-spaced, hard to define anything there at the moment. It's one of those properties where it needs further work. We don't want to go in underarmed. You go in properly backed and financed to be able to advance the property. So we can do either some early stage work ourselves next year, say some aerial survey, or we can bring in a partner for that. And there are discussions going on as to potential partnerships on the storm property. And if necessary, we'll try and advance it a bit on our own.
Sure. And if you don't mind, Eric, let's go back to the gold situations right now. You mentioned two of them. One that you have in partnership with Anglo. Where exactly does that stand right now, and what do the numbers look like so far?
Well, the Baffin Island Gold project that we have is a very large project. It spans 140 kilometers in a belt, multiple prospects along that belt. And as we have money and time available, we pick off individual prospects. Sure. This year we worked on two called Malrock, which had been previously drilled in 2004. And a new one that was discovered in 2008 and 2009 called Canasac. And that was the first year of drill testing for Canasac, and it's very large. So Malrock, we had previously drilled it in 2004, had some encouragement, came back in and did further drilling this year. We had anticipated starting early in the season and drilling on the ice because we had an extension going under the lake. There was a very early spring this year, and we had a bit of a late start due to some logistical issues. And so we managed to get 4 holes on the ice out of what we had hoped for might be 8 or 10. We did find that the ore body does extend underneath the ice, underneath the lake, and it confirmed our beliefs there. Whether we go back to that one again next year, we're not sure. Canasac is the more exciting one, and very large, probably known now to be about 3 kilometers long by at least a ½ kilometer wide. We put 13 holes in that, very widely spaced, and in one case between 2 holes there was a kilometer of distance between them. Almost all of those holes had gold in them, and the best intercept probably being almost 10 meters at slightly over 2 grams per ton. We know that having thrown 13 holes into it, spaced out over 3 kilometers almost, and having found gold in all of that, that it's a very large system. Needs further geophysical work to properly define the targets that we want to continue working with. These were almost blind holes. So very encouraging that we found gold over that type of an extent. And knowing that it's there, it's a matter of persisting and finding where is that sweet spot.
Getting back to the Anglo situation again right now, what exactly are the terms of that joint venture, if I'm not mistaken, and why did they decide to get involved with you guys?
It's an
vice
option.
versa?
Yeah, well, it's an option agreement at the moment. It can become a joint venture. They have optioned the right to come in for 51% of the property by spending $20 million on it.
Over pretty serious.
Quite serious, you know, and recognize that's about the market cap of our company.
Right now.
So over 5 years, $20 million will earn them 51%. Until the $20 million is spent, they have 0. So if they were to spend 19 and decide to walk away, we've improved our property by $19 million worth of water, and we still have the property.
How long has that agreement been in effect?
That was signed in 2009, in the fall of 2009, so it's a little over a year old today. And they have met their commitments now. There was a commitment of approximately $5 million to be spent in the first 2 years, and they have met that.
Wow.
This year was in excess of $6 million in its own, and quite an active program. So they're still very supportive of the work that we've done. We actually spent a week with their executive vice president for Greenfield's Global Exploration out of Perth, Australia, and their senior business development people for 1 week at the site in Nunavut, and also in a Iqaluit meeting with government officials. Very good for such senior officials of Anglo Gold to come up and give us that much time and spend time in tents in foul weather and everything else.
If they're talking about spending $20 million, they've got to be pretty serious on this thing, particularly given the fact that the $20 million doesn't buy them anything until it's all spent. So they've got to be, I mean, to me, that's a very good sign. I want to say, in the interest of full disclosure, Commander is a sponsor on our website, and this isn't investment advice. As you all know, and there's a lot of you folks out there watch this, that we bring companies to your attention that we like. And with the history that I've got with Commander Resources, with the recommendation that a good friend of mine and colleague Gail Simpson gave of the company, I think it really does merit attention. We're going to keep you folks updated right up to the minute in terms of Commander. Whenever any news comes out, we will have it for you, and we will be doing more interviews, whether it's video or audio, down the road. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, it was a pleasure, Al.